This is our bazooka base, known as a super bazooka. It's a Mitchell fitting, which makes it much more stable. In this we have 3 keyways. The base part here is made from one piece of solid material, apart from the disc, with tapered dovetail fittings in it. I'm going to build this up to start with very quickly, mount these ankles on it, and you just screw these together like this. So basically you start with a hi-hat and you can build whatever you want into that. Now if I take these off, this fitting has a levelling jack in it, and the size of this levelling jack is the same as European scaffold tube, which is 48.4 millimeters. So if you need to do a drop stair, which I'll show you in a minute, we can do that, then you can just use an ordinary piece of scaffold tube in it. We have a Mitchell fitting in the middle. We have an option to put a low bowl adapter in there. And when we come to join and put the risers on, we use this tri-bolt fitting. This quite simply pushes into there like so and rotates, and that is safe. It can't come out. To get it out, you just push the red lever and it drops out. So that builds your risers up from there. I'm going to build this initially as though we were in a tight corner of a room. Okay, you'll have to use your imagination here, but imagine that there is a wall here and here. This configuration gets us really close into the corner of a room. The basic unit comes with 3 of these 8-inch or 200 millimeter legs, 3 ankles, 3 levelling feet, etc. There's no tools to take this apart, it's all on these thumb screws. But what you do have to do is make it ring. And that will come apart very easily. Now what I have in my hand here is a 4-inch or 100mm leg, which I'll explain further detail later. And we also have a hinged leg. So when I put this on, I can kick this over in either direction. So if I put that close into there, and then add a 4-inch leg to it, and add the levelling foot and the ankle. At the moment I can now also get very close to a wall like that. There's a very limited amount that this tilts on either direction on the hinge, and it's just locked with these 2 screws. So while I have this up in this position, I'm going to show you some things that will go later on. So I have a normal leg and an ankle. We can put caster wheels on this by entering in the base and locking that off, so we can then wheel the thing around. Fairly simple. We can also put this on track, and we have a set of 3 skateboard wheels here, again held by the same thing. Track runs in between there. Now for me to run this on track, we have to have 2 8-inches, which is going to run on this rail, and on here a 4-inch and an 8-inch, because the track is over here. That will allow you to run that base on standard dolly track. Now, should you not have enough risers at any stage, we have an option to put this block in the end here, which will then allow you to put your tripod on it. So 3 wheels, 3 blocks, and away you go, and then you've got an adjustable platform. Okay, that's fairly simple in that point. Now we're going to come to the point where we put the risers on. So we now put the base on the floor, nice and solid. We have 5 fixed risers. This is the long one. This is 32 inches, 800 millimeters. All you need to do with these risers is line this leg up with the others, and the key will automatically drop in. Your lever drops down, tighten the centre screw, and that's locked. It's a very simple method of doing that in here. So put the next one on. Again, as long as these legs are lined up, it will come together. The standard tri-bolt fitting that goes in here is very simple. Fits in all of the risers and the bases and just clicks in like so. To remove it, you just push the red lever, it rotates and it drops down. Quite simple, purposely loose like that. This thread is the same as a Chapman, it's 1" 14 thread. The reason for that being, we make a version that is longer of this tri-bolt. For that, what you can do is steal the Ubangi off of a Chapman dolly and put it on the top and lock their nut, and then use 2 heads or a head and a lighting system. I'm just going to put you another riser on the top here. This is a small riser. It's got the same Mitchell location and the keyway here. And again, as long as you line these bars up, the keyway will automatically come into place. In the centre, whether you can see that properly there, can you? In the centre here, you have a knurled nut. Okay, when you drop this unit on, line the legs up, spin the nut so that it's finger tight, and then pull the lever, and that's locked, and that folds away out the way. To get that out, push the lever back, spin the nut off, and lift the riser. So the different lengths on these risers are 800, 400, 200, 150 and 100 millimetre. What that gives you are increments every 50 millimetres. So from 100 you can go 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, etc. It gives you those fixed steps. There is an option to put an adjustable section on, which we make 2 of those, but we don't have any here at the moment. And that's your regular height. I'm 5'8". I don't know what that is in metric, but that gives you a fixed height there, and that is solid as you're ever going to get it. It's absolutely solid. Unlike the normal 80mm bazooka that clamps, when you get it up here, it starts to move. And what we have on here also is a scaffold clamp that attaches to any of the legs, anywhere you wish. And the intention of this, if it's used on a vehicle of some description, is that we lock some scaffold tube in, and then we put a bracing bar down. And it gives you a lot more security than worrying about this camera flying around in the air. Standard scaffold tube, 48.4 fits in here. So if you needed to use this as a drop leg at some stage, very simply will drop down like that, off of there, down between the banisters, down to the next stair or whatever. We've also, the fitting that's in the top, that the tri-bolt works on, I have a couple of guys who've had the top of their tripod plates machined with that in, so when they can't get high enough for a security camera shot, they put the risers on top of a tripod. So the tripod comes up here to start with, and then the risers will double the height, and then they'll get up on a ladder to do the shot. But it's like it's a last minute thing. Somebody didn't think that we were going to do that shot, and then suddenly it becomes a panic. All of these risers are made of aluminium extrusion. This is hollow. It's got 3mm section, and it's held together by 6 studs, 6 high tensile stainless steel studs locked into here with the plates on, and then special washers underneath and lock nuts. So that all of them are built in that mode. The 400mm and the 800mm, the 800 has 2 collars in the middle, and the 400mm 1 collar. This is just basically to break the thing up in the middle, but it also gives torsional rigidity. It stops the twisting. if we were to make these bars this long, they would start to twist. A very quick piece of kit to put together and take apart. Yeah, it's a very good solid piece of kit, and it's something that you'd buy once and never have any problems with. Never had any problems with any of these at all. We have a couple of guys that have used these with jibs up on the top of hillsides where they've had to carry things up, and you can put 3 of these 200mm legs per spoke and still put 400 kilos on the top. So a reasonable sized jib with weights, camera and head, and it will still take that. And that quite simply is a bazooka base and risers.